Hey everybody! The purpose of this quiz is to take a look at this quiz. The purpose of this video, excuse me, is to take a look at this quiz representing data effectively question mark, because we're not sure if they did or not. And it's an interesting. I like the graphic in general because it's interesting in that they have each of the graphs representing something about the topic. So the Bronx Zoo is an owl, the parks are a tree, Minnesota Zoo's looks like a deer or an elk or something. Tryon Palace in North Carolina, it looks like looks like the palace, I guess. So it's fun that they did that. I just wanted to make sure that it's a proper use of statistics. So 5 points. Give one way the images portrayed are properly statistically rendered. Okay, so I like that because if you look at the percentages they show, I believe, and I haven't calculated these mathematically, I'm eyeballing them, the percentages show the proper amount of red in the graphic. Like, for example, that looks like it's a peach for Georgia. So 100% of that peach is shaded. 100% of this tree is shaded. This owl up here, it looks like roughly half, a little bit more, which would be 53% is shaded. Same with this Cupid, same with this Cupid arrow, okay? Roughly a third of this is shaded, 36%. So I think they did a good job with the size of the shading as far as the percentage goes. I think they're spot on there. So yay, that's what I would have answered for that one. Institution, you have the pretty good, the numbers, good, did that. However, it potentially falls short when comparing institution when it chose to use percentages instead of raw data. Which institution appears to have the largest annual operating budget? Okay, so here's the deal. Suppose Georgia's Hall of Fame, okay, had an operating budget of $1. Just pretend for a second it had an operating budget of $1, okay? And they lost that dollar next year. Well, there it would be right there. They lost 100% of that $1. Now suppose the Metropolitan Museum of Art, being in New York City, had an operating budget of $12 million, and it lost $6 million of that $12 million. Well, the problem with having this and this be the sizes they are is this appears to take up more space overall than this Cupid statue does, which might make you believe, I don't know if it's true or not, that the budget for the Georgia Hall of Fame music is higher than the budget for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Same thing for the Bronx Zoo and New York Aquarium. It looks like that owl takes up a lot more area overall than this peach does. Or this tree takes up more area than that peach. But then the question is that true? It might be misleading if the fact that if we could actually find the budgets of these places and see, okay, Sacramento City Parks, this looks like it's about 1.5 times as big as this peach. If their budget is 1.5 times as big as the budget of Georgia Halls of Fame, Music and Sports, well then it's properly sized. But I don't know about that because they didn't give us the raw data. I actually went online to try to find some, and I spent about 15 minutes trying to find it, and I couldn't find anything. So it would be kind of interesting to see. That's why I said potentially falls short. The assumption here, at least this is what I thought of, the assumption is that somehow the smaller, at least the apparent assumption is that the smaller overall picture has the smaller overall budget. I don't know if that's true. If that's true, that means the Metropolitan Museum of Art apparently has the smallest budget of anything here. True? I have no idea. I doubt it because then you've got a New York museum with a smaller budget than a Georgia Music Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's true or not. It would require more research, which you guys are getting really good at doing. So, anyway, that's how I would have voted. You can vote differently should you choose to. That's totally fine too. And I hope this was a starting point for you.